You think my lips are cute? All natural, baby. All natural. Hey guys, what is up? What's going on? It's Ashley. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a full-on review video on the brand new Nudie Patootie palette by Lauralee'S Los Angeles. Lauralee here on the internet. When I saw that she was dropping this, I knew immediately that I was going to pick it up just because it is very much nude and neutral. Like, these shades right here are right up my alley, and I really like that it was a nude neutral palette without there being so many warm tones. You guys know the bricks, the red oranges, all of those colors have been done time and time again. So I was excited that while it was a nude palette, it wasn't your typical warm palette, if that makes any sense at all. So I will be going over the shadows. I will be swatching them, putting it on my eyes, doing a demo, giving you guys my honest feedback. So if you guys are here for that, if you're excited, don't forget to press that subscribe button, and also don't forget to click that little bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the review. All right, you guys know the drill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some specs on the shadow palette. So this is what it looks like. It says Nudie Patootie on the front. It has that raised font, and it also kind of has like that glass effect to it. Towards the very bottom, she has Lauralee'S Los Angeles, which is essentially her logo, and it is holographic in rose gold. I also really love that the palette is extremely long. She kind of has like this gradient effect going on. Honestly, if I had to compare this palette to her last palette, Cat's Pajamas, I will say I like this a lot better. It's super classy, and I don't know, I just really love the packaging overall of this palette. If you guys didn't know, Lauralee'S products are cruelty-free and they are made in the USA, which does justify the higher price point. Now this palette right here, it retails for $45, which I know is a lot. When I think $45, I think about products I can purchase in Sephora, in Ulta, in the high-end section, but that is the price point. You do get a full-size mirror on the back. Like, this is an extremely long palette. I do absolutely love the mirror on the other side. You also get 14 eyeshadows. Lauralee did include a mixture between shimmers and mattes, and also this glitter formula right here that we have seen in the Desert Dust palette, and also the Rose Gold palette by Huda Beauty. So I really love the mixture between formulas. I also really love the shade range. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch each eyeshadow on my arm so that way you guys can see the pigmentation and how these shadows really build up. Keep in mind, if you guys are new to my channel, I don't just do one finger swatch. I don't believe in one finger swatches. I feel like you can't really tell how an eyeshadow is going to perform based on one finger swatch. So I do build up each shadow to its full intensity, and when I do put them on my eyes, you guys will see how they build up and how they blend out and things like that. So if you guys are here for the demo, without further ado, let's go ahead and put these shadows on our eyes. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump straight into the look. The very first thing I'm gonna do is prime my eyelids. I'm gonna use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. This one is in the shade Light. Ever since I used this in my Maybelline Lemonade Craze Shadow Palette video, I've been obsessed with it. So if you guys haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. I'm gonna take this concealer and I'm gonna pop it all over my eyelids. What I love about this concealer is that it is extremely sticky, and I am using a fairly light shade just because I really want these colors to pop and stand out. So I'm applying it all over the lid, and then I'm going to feather it directly underneath the brow bone. The only thing I will say about this concealer is that it does crease. So you want to make sure whenever you apply your eyeshadows that you buff and blend out the creasing. Otherwise, things can start to get like a little weird. But I'm now going to move on to using the Nudie Patootie palette by Lauralee. I am so stoked for this. When I saw that she was launching this, I knew immediately that I needed it in my life, because can we just talk about the color range right here? Granted, it is another neutral palette, but it is so beautiful. I love that she has a mixture between shimmers and mattes, and also like this chunky glitter right here. So I'm excited to give her a go, give her a whirl. So I think the first shade I want to use is this one right here. I'm going to take this shade. The shade is called Bear. So I will say that this color is a lot more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. This is essentially going to be my transition color, by the way. So I'm really just bringing it up pretty high, and I'm feathering it out with my Sigma E25. They are blending out really, really nicely, which doesn't surprise me because I don't think that she would put something out that wasn't blendable. The next shade I'm going to take in the palette is this one right here. This one is called Strip, and I'm actually going to put that in my crease. So I'm going to dust off that same Sigma E25 blending brush that we just used, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of Strip, which is a little bit more of like a mustard color, and I'm going to pop it directly underneath and really just try to intensify it in the crease. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. It's a lot of pigment. I'm gonna go ahead and work this into the crease of my eye. Now don't worry if you start to cover up that peachy tone color. I will go back in and touch it up after I get this color in the crease. Now that I have that color built up to the intensity that I want, I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M441, and I'm gonna take a little bit more of Bare, and I'm just gonna go ahead and buff and blend it out directly over top of that brown, just so that way everything gradiates into each other really, really nicely. You want just a nice seamless blend. So go in and go in big old circular motions and really just buff out those edges. I honestly have no idea what look I'm going for with this palette. So far, the shadows are blending out really, really nicely, like really good. And this peach shade is beautiful. Like, do you guys see how freaking gorgeous that is? Like, I'm just going back in and I'm really intensifying this like pukey mustard color in my crease by tapping, tap, tap, tap. Right now I'm just taking a clean Sigma E25 and I'm going over the edges just because I feel like it could be like a little bit more blended. So I'm really buffing out these colors, especially towards like the inner corner right here. The next shade I'm going to use in the palette is this one right here. This one is called Butt Naked. And what I'm going to do with this shade is I'm going to apply it towards the outer portion of my eyelid. So like right here, like the outer V. And I'm going to build this up to a decent intensity just because I do want this area to be like a little bit more deeper and a little bit more smoky. I switched my brush to my Morphe M441 and I'm really working it in big circular motions right here towards the outer V because I'm not trying to get a super angular, like I want more of like a circular eye shape. So I am just going in big circular motions right here and then I'm rocking it like this in the socket just so that way I could really carve out this outer V right here. One thing you want to pay attention to when you are building up this color right here towards the outer B is that you don't want to take it above the crease color. So try to keep it pretty low just so that way it doesn't look like it's like, you know, going into your eyebrows or anything. One thing I will say is while this Butt Naked color looks super light in the pan, it builds up really, really nicely. Like, do you see how intense I was able to get that color? Like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I think I need to stop before I get like really carried away with this shade. So right now, this is what I'm working with. Honestly, I'm really, really loving the way that it is looking. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna use my MAC 242 brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the inner part of my crease. And I'm gonna try to keep this relatively low. Sometimes like when I cut my crease, I cut it like way too high. So I'm gonna try to keep it pretty low. So I think like that much is good. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So now that my crease is nice and cut, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. Now, I did watch Laura's video and she did say that she recommends we use these with like glitter glue or we apply them wet just because it does have a lot of fallout. So I am gonna apply it wet just because that's what she said to do in her video. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that bronzy shade. It is one of those really kind of like chunky glitters. I'm gonna spray it with some MAC Fix Plus so that way I can get her going and ensure that she just lays down super flat. So I'm going to pop her. Not what I really expected, but maybe I need like a little more. I feel like it's making my eyes look wrinkly. Oh no. Maybe I will use my finger. I'm just going to continue to pat this color onto my lid. I will say that I am getting a little bit of fallout. Also, the wrinkling isn't as bad as it was in the beginning, so whew, I was really scared. I'm just taking this color and I'm kind of bringing it out a little bit more. And then I am going to take that same brush I used on the outer V with a little bit of Butt Naked. And I'm gonna buff it into the glitter just so that way there's not so much of like a stark harsh line. I did want to zoom you guys in a little bit just so that way you guys can see all the fallout I got when I did apply that kind of like chunky glitter shade. But it's nothing too serious. The only thing I will say is I definitely recommend that you do your foundation after you do your eyes. But as you can see, the blend on the shadows It's absolutely beautiful. Like, it blended like a dream. They went on really, really pretty. Granted, in the beginning, I kind of felt like I had like really wrinkly eyelids for a second, but as I continued to really just buff and blend out that shadow, it looked amazing. Like, it looked a lot better. So I'm pretty impressed with the way it looks. I'm gonna do my other eye. I have a little bit of that product on my brush. I'm gonna spray it with some MAC Fix Plus because she does recommend that you apply them wet. And I'm going to just pop it on just like I did the other side. And as you can see, like, when it first goes on, my eyes look like really pruned, and that's that's not a really great look. So that's why in the beginning I was like, oh my god, my eyelids are wrinkly. So like going on, it's like really pruny looking. I don't know if it's a brush I'm using. I'm gonna switch to this one. This one is by BH Cosmetics. It's my Ray Ray. It came in the collection that she came out with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just pat it with this brush to see if I can get that product to lay a little flatter and a little bit more even. See? I think it was like probably the brush or something. The next shade I'm gonna use in the palette is this one right here. This one is called Stark. It literally is just like a super stark white color. And I'm gonna place it on my brow bone to just highlight it a little bit. And I am going in with a really white hand because I don't want my brow bone highlight to be like super white. Like, I want it to be like illuminated, but I don't want it to be like white. And I always say whenever you go in with a brow bone color, it really just helps blend and buff all the shades together. So if you ever have trouble with your blending, I always recommend going in with a brow bone highlight. All right, so now that I have my lids done, I am gonna go in with a makeup wipe and I'm gonna clean up all of this fallout I have it down here, because I do have quite a bit of fallout. One thing I will say is if you are using those really kind of chunky glitter shades, definitely avoid doing your eyes first because it can get pretty messy. After looking at this look, I feel like it looks a lot like my full face testing drugstore first impressions video that I just uploaded. So if you guys want to see a more affordable version of this look, definitely check out that video. I'm gonna link it in the cards for you. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna finish off the rest of my face. We'll do the lower lash line, we'll do mascara, lashes, and then we will regroup. We'll talk about the palette and my thoughts and all that stuff. So I'll be right back. So I did the rest of my face off camera just so that way we can really focus on the eyes. I'm now gonna go into the shade right here. This one is called Bit Naked, and I'm gonna take it on my short shader E20 by Sigma, and I'm gonna run this on my lower lash line to really just connect the lower lash line with the upper lid. As you can see, super pigmented, like one swipe, wham bam, like that's crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue to pack it on this lower lash line right here, and I'm gonna drag it into the inner corner. So once I have the shadow placed exactly where I want it, I'm really gonna buff and blow it out with a pencil brush. So I'm gonna take this pencil brush alongside the edges. Now I really want to just bring and blow out this lower lash line, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Butt Naked, and I'm just going to continue to bring her a little bit further down and just bringing it and connecting it with the upper lid. I'm gonna pick up this e.l.f. blending brush right here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and rock it alongside these edges just so that way everything just looks a lot neater and a little bit more like put together. But let me just say, I am very impressed with the pigmentation of this eyeshadow palette. While it is a little bit more like on the expensive side, I wanna say like after shipping and stuff, I paid like $50, and I think that's like very like high end as far as like makeup palettes go. I can justify the price considering how good these shadows perform on the eyes. And if you really look at the palette, you are getting extremely large pans of eyeshadow versus like, you know, Modern Renaissance or like the Urban Decay Naked palette. So I think she did a really awesome job creating this Nudie Patootie palette. The next shade I'm going to use in the palette is this one right here. This one is called Uncover, and I'm going to pick that up on a pencil brush, and I'm going to pop it right here in the very inner corner. I am going to spray my brush a little bit just because I really want this to stand out and to pop. So I'm going to just pop it right here, and I'm going to try not to get like too crazy. That's it. That's all I'm doing in the inner corner. I feel like sometimes when I do like my inner corner shade, it turns into like the side of my nose. Now that the eyes are completely done, I'm gonna go in with my Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon, and I am gonna tight line. This is like my all-time favorite crayon eyeliner to tight line with. It's extremely black and it does not move. It's beautiful. Then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the Big Shot mascara by Maybelline because it's one of my all-time favorite mascaras. And I am just gonna go ahead and coat my upper and lower lashes. For lashes today, I'm gonna use these. These are the Eyelure x Nicole Faux Flawless Lashes. I told you guys in my last drugstore haul that I absolutely love these on dramatic eye days and more natural eye days. So I am gonna pop these on just because I really want you guys to be able to see the eyeshadow and I don't wanna cover them up with a dramatic pair of falsies. Eyelashes are on. All right, you guys, and just like that, this is the look using the Lauralee'S Nudie Patootie palette. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. Did you pick it up? Will you be picking it up? And if you're not, let us know why you're not in the comments down below. The only thing I will say about these really chunky glitter shades like Au Naturel and Jaybird is that they are a little bit difficult to work with. Once you get it going and once you start smoothing it out onto the skin, they are really, really buttery, but to touch, you do get a lot of fallout. So you do have to kind of work it into the skin until you get a really nice smooth effect like this, if you get me. So those are my only complaints. I know that these formulas are really, really popular. I know Huda Beauty does it. So I do commend her on adding this into her palette because I feel like it just gives you a different effect. But as you can see, it kind of like chunks up right there. So maybe wet your brush, use Fix Plus, use glitter glue, whatever it is you need to use to get these on your eyelids without getting a ton of fallout. But other than that, I do think it is a really beautiful palette. Am I fond of the price point? No, but it is cruelty free. It's made in the USA and you do get slightly bigger pans than you would in the Urban Decay Naked Heat palettes or ABH Modern Renaissance. So you do get more products. So I do understand the higher price point. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below per usual. And with that, guys, I don't think I have anything else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.